Law of rhythm. Everything flows in and out. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. The Kabbalion. The laws of vibration and polarity are expanded when we add the law of rhythm. While everything vibrates and moves and has two poles or opposites, everything vibrates at or responds to certain rhythm. This rhythm establishes seasons, cycles, stages of development, and patterns. All of these reflect the regularity of God's universe. It may also be viewed over long periods of time as the continual creation of the universe, the rise and fall of nations, and our own birth, death, and rebirth. The cycles or rhythms apply to all areas of human life, the physical, mental, and spiritual. Many of the cycles in our lives and in nature occur in multiples of 7. 7 days to the week, 7 notes to the scale, 7 rays of influence, etc. It has been said that the human beings were designed by the Creator to live for 20 1/2 periods of 7 years each, or about 144 years. Our failure to do this is the result of our inability to live within the laws of nature. Today we find many who are extending the lifespan from 68 or 70 years to 80, 90, or even more than 100 years. In the natural order of the law of rhythm, we experience the positive cycles and the positive emotions of faith, generosity, kindness, patience, love, courage, and duty. Everything goes well and we feel happy and confident. We may describe this period as being on a roll or experiencing unusual luck. We feel this way because our lives are in balance. When we move into the negative cycle, our feelings and mental states change. We now may feel more fear, greed, envy, criticism, or hatred. Our natural tendency is to blame this on other people or events. We can overcome these feelings by transmuting the feeling and overcoming the negative. Our will or mental state is superior to the manifestations of this law. The rhythm continues, but the negative takes place on the lower unconscious level. It is overcome or transmuted to a higher level by the use of our will to remain positive. We rise above the natural rhythm and do not experience the negative. Since the law of rhythm is inevitable, we can adapt in ways by using our knowledge. We can plan new ventures at the time when things are moving to a positive side, and we can remain positive to lessen or eliminate the effects of the negative. We do this by learning to control our emotions at all times. We must work at reducing episodes of fear, worry, selfishness, greed, hatred, or other negative emotions. Even though we may have some of these feelings, we should strive to keep ourselves from owning expressions of these feelings. In this way, we will not be subject to these emotions when the pendulum shifts again. When we allow negative emotions to be expressed, they remain with us and they provide the poles for shifts of the pendulum. When we are expressing positive emotion, the positive stays with us and assists us in transmuting the negative swings of the pendulum. The key to success in mastering this law is balance. Never allow your emotions to swing too far to the left or right. If you can accomplish this, life gets better and better. El Morya describes the law of rhythm in the following way. On behalf of the light within each person who reads this message, I greet you from the heart of Shananda. It is I, El Morya, here to transmit the next message on the law of rhythm. The universe moves in a cyclical fashion, with energy flowing one way and then the other. This movement is defined as the rhythm of the universe, and this rhythm is found in all things. It is called the law of rhythm. The principles underlying this law are defined as the movements of the in-breath and the out-breath of God. Life moves in cycles and is constantly renewing itself, first from the highs and then from the lows, next from within and then from without. These rhythms connect the two extremes revealed in the law of polarity. These rhythmic motions are what constitute the heartbeat, the pulse of life itself. The law of rhythm basically states that all things move in a cyclical fashion, like the pendulum swinging first to the right and then to the left. The tides flow in and the tides flow out. The sun rises and the sun sets. These rhythms constitute an order of renewal in the universe that can be either disruptive or pleasant, depending upon how one wishes to perceive these rhythms. Like the physical plane, the mental and spiritual planes also have rhythms. Thus, individuals witness mood shifts and states of mental imbalance. These periods constitute some of the most difficult times that people experience, for the extremes drain individuals of precious energy and serve to lessen the mastery they command over their own mental and emotional bodies. For every high there shall be a low. This is the law of rhythm. This is the only law the individual cannot learn to control. The only way in which one can command mastery over it is through mastering one's own emotional and mental states at all times. Doing so allows one to rise above this law. Those who thoroughly enjoy life and are filled with excitement must also experience the extreme lows, for as the pendulum swings from the right and back to the left, the opposite event or experience must be brought to them. Once the individual tires of the lows, the soul is open to learn new ways to govern specific behavior patterns. This begins the process which leads to the lessening of the extreme depressions that intrude on one's life. When the initiate commands this state of mind and demonstrates that he or she is ready to receive instruction on another, better way to experience life, he or she then is introduced to the law of rhythm. The way in which one escapes from the effects of this law is to rise above it. That means that the only escape is to control the mental and emotional bodies at all times, and to govern the extreme mood shifts that interfere with one's path. The individual learns to walk the center of the road, never getting too excited or allowing negative things to penetrate his or her consciousness. Masters know that all is energy, and that this precious life force is given to each to manage and use wisely for manifesting God's plan on earth. Since energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, it must be transmuted. The law of rhythm teaches a way in which to transmute energy and manage the extreme rhythms in life. The key to transmuting the effects of the law of rhythm is through the strength of the will. By applying one's will to manage reactions toward events in life, the individual actually can learn to detach emotionally from all experiences. Willpower can be used to prevent the individual from getting too excited when events occur that serve only to still the energy under the guise of enthusiasm. When the highs are controlled, the swing of the pendulum will not be so extreme. Therefore, the polarized event that will come to the individual will be of a lesser negative quality and will be easier to accept. To be successful at rising above the law of rhythm and detaching emotionally, the initiate must learn to walk the middle of the path at all times. This is the road to mastery. Few have been able to accomplish this in the past, however, which is why there are so few that have ascended from the earth plane. The time has come for more to make this journey and move into their light bodies, to sit at the right hand of the Father, Mother, Creator. Those who master the law of rhythm will surely be among those who will have seats reserved for this gathering. This law separates the masters from the initiates, the leaders from the followers. It is the turning point toward spirit and the step away from the material world of the third dimension. Learn it well, dear children of the command, for to understand it grants you your ticket to the stars. Adonai, O sisters and brothers on the path, in the name and radiance of the Most High, I am El Moriai.